Today we're revisiting the most popular keto recipe of all time, the chaffle. And this time we're gonna be adding a viral ingredient. I did not know that people were making chaffles out of cottage cheese. It never occurred to me to do that. We saw a recipe that has been floating around. It's actually by Weight Watchers. Nothing against Weight Watchers. We'll be leaving it linked in the description below. This recipe seems interesting, so we thought it would be fun to compare it to our chaffle recipe that so many of you guys found us through, actually. Our chaffles are crispy and crunchy and light. They're good as everything. A bagel, breakfast sandwich. They are kind of high in calories though, so watch out. But they are really, really good. And the sponsor of this video is Almond. So Sarah and I have been drinking Almond every single day since 2020 because we absolutely love the way it tastes and the way it makes us feel on our keto lifestyle. That's because when you go into ketosis, you shed a lot of water, and inside that water are your electrolytes. This can leave you feeling tired, having muscle cramps or nausea, and we call that the keto flu. Element replenishes your electrolytes so that you feel better. Element contains a science-backed electrolyte ratio of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Sarah and I really do like all the flavors of Element. They're all amazing, but our favorites are the citrus salt and the grapefruit salt. This one is my mom's favorite, actually. Right now you can get a free 8-count sample pack of Element's most popular drink mix flavors with any purchase. Just go to drinklmnt.com/ketotwins. Find your favorite Element flavor or share some with a friend. So we're gonna be making the new recipe first. You're gonna be needing cottage cheese. They use low-fat cottage cheese. We don't really use low-fat cottage cheese all that often. We're gonna be using the 4% milk-fat cottage cheese. The person and the people that we've seen making this recipe online, they tend to blend everything in the blender, but I don't really wanna wash the blender out. We actually blended the cottage cheese like for recipes this week since we use it so often, and we're just gonna be using that and mixing that with some eggs and some spices, or we're just gonna do it raw. Not raw, but
raw.
We're gonna do it with no spices so that we can test it to our chaffle recipe that has a little bit more of ingredients, but it should have a very different result. So it's 2 tablespoons of cottage cheese mixed with 2 eggs, that's it. You could blend this all, but probably would be faster, but I'm lazy. There's no flour in this recipe. Okay, so this should make 2 chaffles. So we've heated up our chaffle maker. We don't like to do this too early because sometimes it can overheat and then burn your chaffles. We're using the Dash 4-unit mini chaffle maker. This is one of the most useful things that we have purchased. We've had it for years, and it just makes making chaffles so much faster. So we'll leave this linked in the description below. So our recipe is a little bit more involved. There's a little bit more of a technique involved. It's not hard or anything, but I'm gonna go through it now. So for our recipe, you're gonna be needing mozzarella cheese. This is just the one from Amazon. We like the one from Whole Foods. You can shred your own if you wanna save on the carbs, because there is a trace amount of carbs in some shredded cheeses because they use like an anti-caking agent so that the little cheese shreds don't stick together. So the other thing that we use is some kind of flour. We use almond flour, we use lupin flour. Right now we have this. We're gonna be using this because we have this from Thrift Market and we wanna like use up our ingredients that we have on hand, but they're all really good. But if you wanna save on some more carbs, use egg white protein powder. It makes for a very crispy chaffle. So we use a little bit of xanthan gum mixed in there, but I'm gonna show you how we mix together our chaffles because it's a little bit different than what we just showed you with the cottage cheese chaffle. 1 cup of shredded mozzarella. To this, we're gonna add our dry ingredients, which is half a teaspoon of xanthan gum, and then 2 tablespoons of whatever flour you want. This is gonna make slightly more chaffles than the other recipe. I think this makes 3 chaffles, so 2 tablespoons. We mix together the ingredients with a fork just because xanthan gum can clump once it hits moisture and you don't really want that. To that, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of egg whites. We usually use egg whites from the carton, but we had eggs today, so we just used that. And we mix this all together. This is actually a little bit more wet than we're used to, but it should be fine. Or you could just add a little bit more cheese in here and make 4. And then just let it absorb, because the xanthan gum is going to kind of start to absorb the moisture too. We'll let that sit to the side while we cook the other one first. So this recipe says to spray your waffle iron with cooking spray, and we have found that we don't like doing that just because this is a non-stick surface, and we find that the chaffles will eventually release themselves once they're fully cooked. They kind of contract, and you're able to kind of pop them out of the chaffle maker with no issue. The other thing that they do in this recipe is that they sprinkle a little bit of cheddar cheese at the bottom of the waffle maker, and so I think that's going to help it kind of have a structure. If not, it might be like floppy and not crunchy. So we want some crunch. So we're gonna put a little bit of cheddar cheese at the base and then pour our liquid on top of it to create the cottage cheese chaffle. Okay, so now we're gonna put a little bit more cheese on top to create the structure on the top. I am worried that I overfilled this, but it should fill out. Yeah, it should spill out. Ready? Here we go.
Slowly.
All right, we're gonna leave this for about 3 or 4 minutes and see what happens. So there's channels on the side which should catch the excess, in theory.
The theory is failing. Can you get a napkin, please?
Okay, so initial thoughts are it smells very much like eggs. Obviously, that's like the main ingredient in this. The secondly, it was way too much batter for this. I feel like I should have underfilled it instead of filling it to the top, so be careful because we still have some left over. We could make another one probably, so it's not exactly right in the recipe. It's supposed to be able to lift up easily. Whoa, that's a lot. See, look at this. This is like a lot of batter. The cheddar on the bottom seems to have held up way better. Oh, yeah. See that?
Mm-hmm.
So the cheddar on top is gone. Maybe it's in here somewhere.
Do you want to put a little bit more on the top?
We could try, but I'm afraid to burn the bottom. Let's just try for a minute. You never know.
It's like we've been making the same chaffle recipe for so long that new ones are just a little bit more fickle sometimes.
Right. Okay, so here's the chaffle. We're gonna let this dry off. So we reset the chaffle maker. There was little bits of cheese and stuff that we wanted to clean out, and we unplug it when we did that. And now we're heating it back up again. We have found that the best size for our specific chaffles is the 1/8 cup, which is about 2 tablespoons.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
It's around that, yeah. And you have some time to play with when you're putting down the cheese on this one at least.
It's like a heaping spoonful of this. See, it's like...
You kind of want it to be thin. You don't want to be too thick with our chaffles.
Take the back of your spoon and just kind of lead it around. I'm gonna put this down for 4 minutes. Okay, after the 4 minutes, it should release itself. I know that so many of you guys say I can't get my chaffles out. Well, then they're not done.
You kind of want to pull them when you stop seeing all this moisture come out. So
you should be able to take the edge of a fork and kind of just like flick it out of there. We're gonna put them on a rack, which is how we've found to let them kind of dry out. Then we're gonna go downstairs and we're gonna try the cottage cheese chaffle versus the original second version of the Keto Twins chaffle. So a lot of you guys ask, how do we clean our chaffle maker? We just unplug it and then we take a wet paper towel, just lay it on here carefully. It's steamed, so it's gonna steam a lot. And the steam helps kind of bring all the oils and stuff out, and then you can kind of just wipe it down with a damp sponge, and that's it. These are the cottage cheese chaffles, and here are our chaffles. They look a little different. I would say that the cottage cheese ones are a little bit more visually appealing.
yeah, they are. Right.
But that's because of the cheddar cheese on top.
Right.
If not, it would have been
Pretty floppy.
eggy and not crisp. Okay, let's try it. Am I a chaffle snob?
Are you?
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of? Like an egg patty.
An egg
that you would get inside a breakfast sandwich or something.
Egg wedges are not crunchy on the outside though.
Right.
Like I can imagine this, and with a sausage patty in between too.
Right.
That would be nice.
That would be a good sandwich.
Mm-hmm. Because you have like the egg wedge with the cottage cheese, but then you also have the crunch with the cheddar.
It's probably less calories too. This is like all cheese.
Right.
This is an egg plus cheese.
Cottage cheese.
Yeah. I mean, but a tablespoon of cottage cheese is not a lot. One of our chaffles is about 175 calories. If you have a breakfast sandwich, you're looking at 350 calories just for the top and the bottom. But this tastes a lot more eggy, obviously. So
I think it's perfect for breakfast.
Right.
A lot of people don't like eggs.
Right.
So
these don't taste like eggs.
because initially we did use the yolk, and a lot of people said it tastes too much like egg.
Right.
So we removed the egg yolk and only had egg whites, and it really eliminated a lot of that egg flavor. So,
But you know, people on this lifestyle, they eat for different reasons. Some people really care about like the nutritional information of everything they're eating. Other people, they want the taste to be right. That's just, everybody's different on keto. The way that you do keto is going to be different than the next person. You know, we're very lax about the way that we do keto. To me, I want the taste of the chaffle to be on point because I'm replacing something that I was kind of addicted to before, bread, and I want that to be not eggy tasting. I like eggs sometimes, but not all the time.
right.
This, we've even eaten it
Sweet. Right.
So, I'm sorry, but it's just good. It may not look the prettiest, but it tastes so good. It's light, it's airy. See, here's the thing. A lot of you guys are going to say, well, I thought lupin powder was your favorite. We make it all different types of ways, honestly. We're like open to new things. We're not tied down to one way of making something. So if we have a little bit of almond flour that we don't want it to go to waste, we're just gonna try to use up the almond flour. Sarah and I have gone through many phases where we buy stuff and then it goes expired. We waste so much money on ingredients. You guys should see the amount of ingredients. Maybe we'll do some stuff like that on Instagram if you guys want to see, like unveiling the stockpile of stuff that we have.
Our keto pantry of just all the stuff for the channel. You know, we do try to use a lot, but sometimes you'll buy a whole bag of something and it will require a tablespoon or a teaspoon. And so you're like, oh, I have 300 servings of this item. So
we just kind of go, well, let's try to
use what we have.
Right.
I love this though.
I'm one of those people that have like an obsession about something and I'm like, I'm not having that again for a long time. So
right. But I'm glad we
rediscover this every time.
Right. But I do like the other version with the cottage cheese. I can imagine having like I said, a breakfast sandwich, sausage, and then drizzle of like Choc Zero maple syrup on it to be a, what is it called? McDonald's.
Griddle?
McGriddle. But you're still for the OG, so.
I am. The other one's good though, but you know.
If you guys have a favorite chaffle that we haven't talked about, let us know in the comment section below.
We are biased, I guess, because...
No, we're not biased, but we're willing to try other things. Don't be afraid to share your favorite chaffle. But, you know, we just keep on going back to something like this because
it's a comfort.
It's just the way we started on this channel. Do you want the last one?
Sure. So YouTube seems to think that you're going to like this video here, so why don't you click on it and we will see you over there. Anyway, I'm Emily.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are the Keto Twins signing out.